Hello everyone, welcome back to Luna Wisdom Tarot. I'm Antoinette and I have a pick a card reading for you. New subject, what draws people to you? So what we're going to do is I already pre-selected some oracle cards that you could either pick the vibe of the card or you could pick the stone, and that's how you pick your pile. I do intend for this to be a shorter reading, so I did pre-shuffle a few cards here. We'll get a couple clarifiers, but it's going to be pretty in and out today. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and get started. Pile 1. If you're attracted to this card, it's from the Love Who You Are Oracle deck, and this would be for pile 1. And it's card number 4, Practice Curiosity. And hopefully you get a good view of that. So that's for pile 1. If you resonate with the stone, this one is rose quartz. It is a very beautiful pyramid. Okay. And then pile 2. This one is a fluorite pyramid. It's a little bit darker in hue here than the very pink rose quartz. And this one is card 33, Get Lost. There's a couple birds here. It says for pile 33. I apologize, of course. I start filming and there's kids outside, so I'll close the door. But for now, we'll go through it. Okay, pile 3. This is a amethyst. Another pyramid today. I was in a pyramid mood. And this card for pile 3 is number 36, Cultivate Peace. So go ahead, look at the cards, feel out the vibration, and go ahead and pick your pile based on that, or you can pick by stone, or you can do like a Google number where the computer will tell you what number to pick. So you can do whatever way you feel comfortable with. As a reminder, this reading is for a lot of people, so it's a general message. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If something doesn't connect with you during the reading, keep listening. I'm sure there will be messages in there for you as well. All right, talk to you soon. Hello, pile 1. If you selected this rose quartz pyramid, this is your reading. Or this card, Practice Curiosity with the fox. Okay, pile 1, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sorry, I had a problem with the video, so I'm restarting this piece. So Practice Curiosity is what you selected. I had 3 pre-shuffled cards. I did start going through the reading, so full transparency, I have 2 other shuffled cards here, but we'll get to those. So first and foremost, let's get back to it. So Practice Curiosity, you selected this fox. What I'm feeling from pile 1 is that you are definitely someone who you have a lot of just like fun, vital energy. You're someone where a lot of people enjoy being around you. And you also don't always do things like what everybody would expect of you. So, what draws people to you? It was the question. And I'm going to go ahead and flip over the pre-shuffled 3 cards here. These cards were pulled from the Lightseers Tarot deck. So we have the Page of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, and the Sun. So for you, pile 1, when we think about the Page of Pentacles energy, this comes out right away. And what really draws people to you, their initial impressions, is that you just seem to be somebody who's very smart. So we think about foxes, right? Like they're really savvy. And so, they're known to be sly like a fox, like savvy, like you're kind of always ahead of the game a bit. So people really love your mind. They love how you think. It seems like you're just kind of always have a trick up your sleeve. So what I'm seeing for you here is that you do have a sense of ambition and drive as you go after things, but it's not in an unhealthy way. In fact, it's an incredibly balanced way. So you notice how the fox here has stopped and he's looking at this butterfly. Looking at the butterfly is like he's wearing his crown, but as he's looking up at the butterfly, it's like being taken out of that world and looking into a new world. So that Practice Curiosity is here. And so I see that as whatever you're going after, you practice curiosity along the way. Now, why is this part of people's initial impressions? Well, let's get into that. The Six of Pentacles follows up the Page of Pentacles, and it's such perfect energy for you. The Six of Pentacles is like this generous energy, like someone who is really pays attention to people in the room, somebody who is abundant and shares their abundance. And that's how you're coming across in this reading. The way people, their first impression of you is not about you giving them anything. It's actually about you giving them something that people don't necessarily recognize. So it's not about giving them something physical, I should be clear on, but it's more like the energy that you put out. You're putting out the sun energy. You're putting out this very vital, warm, fun, friendly energy, this kind energy. And it doesn't mean you even have to be outgoing. It's just your vibe. It's what they feel. It's your warmth when you walk into a room. People's first impressions of you, what draws people to you. That Six of Pentacles energy, you're very generous with lending a listening ear. You're just willing to listen to what other people have to say. You're willing to like engage and understand what their experiences in life are. You're willing to just be supportive in that way. Yes, you can be generous with your time as well. You can also be generous with like, maybe you donate your time. Maybe you're somebody who gives back to charity or donates your time to a cause, or is just really, I don't know, doing something like some sort of charitable work. Regardless of what that is, it could honestly just be how you're willing just to return a smile. But it's that generosity that people pick up on. It's that warmth of the sun. And this is really what draws people to you. They feel safe to talk to you. They want to know something about you. You have a natural curious spirit, but the irony is your vibe brings out other people's curiosity. So your natural curiosity almost is mirrored back to you through other people. Okay, and then we have the next card that came out was the Five of Pentacles. This is double downing on that vibe that you see other people. You really see them. You're not somebody who can, we'll say, just walk by a bunch of homeless people and not notice and not think about that experience. It doesn't mean you say anything. It doesn't mean you even have the means to do anything, but it's more like you see it, you're aware of it, and it affects you. I'm getting goosebumps right now, so I don't know if that's happened to somebody recently or if that's something that's on your mind, but you are definitely a really caring soul. And that's something that people, that draws them to you because they feel like they're seen by you. They feel like you're willing to take the time in such a busy world. And I go back to your Page of Pentacles energy. Remember, you're seen as somebody who is ambitious. You do have your own goals. Your whole life isn't about just helping other people or being just fully charitable work. You have your own things you want to achieve, and you want to build a good life for yourself. So that's evident by the Page of Pentacles, but you have such a lovely balance. So when what you're going after and what makes you you, that Page of Pentacles energy brings in people's curiosity, and that actually draws people to you. But then the irony is your natural spirit, who you are, that sun energy mixed with the Six of Pentacles, mixed with that Five of Pentacles energy, you really see people. You're very grounded in this world. You're very aware of what's in front of you. You can be in the present moment. And so people really pick up on that, pile one. Okay, the next pre-shuffled card out is the King of Cups. It did come out upright. I just accidentally flipped the card when I pulled it. Okay, so the King of Cups came out on the Page of Pentacles to clarify the energy further. What I see for you here is that this speaks of balance. You notice how she has two things in her hand, and she is she is the King of Cups, right? So for you, pile one, I think it's important for you to note that you have such a beautiful balance of like emotionality as you go through life. So one of the things that people notice about you is that when you will sit down with them and talk to them about their problems, they may know all the things you're up to, and they're blown away that you're able to stop and just like hold space and show such interest in their situation and not be so focused on your own. That is a rare quality, and it's something that really draws people to you and that they really appreciate about you. Now the final pre-shuffle card, I believe I said 2, but I really meant 3. 2 of Wands. This card comes out on top of 6 of Pentacles. This brings that generous nature to like a global scale. So what I see for you here is it could be something literal, like you're part of the World Vision, the UN, like some sort of charitable work that reaches the entire world, Doctors Without Borders, etc. You could be part of one of those organizations or donate to one of those organizations, or you could simply be very concerned about what certain situations are going on in the world, meaning maybe you're really concerned about the recent earthquake in another country. You could be really worried about a certain war-torn area. You could be really concerned about how someone in your local area was hit by a major severe weather conditions and how they're affected by it. That's just who you are. Like, you're someone who is very generous, and you're very aware of the world around you, and you're aware of maybe certain things, like you think about your impact to the world. I won't be surprised if you're an environmentalist, or if you're someone who is part of, a group like, I don't even want to name groups. I guess like you could be part of any sort of charitable organization, or any sort of organization where you're just trying to make the world a better place. But you definitely think about the world, your place in it, and how you can give back and pay it forward. That is something that people admire about you, and it's something that draws people to you. Okay, clarifying card on top of the Sun card is Strength. That is beautiful. 2 major arcanas here. What I love about this for you is that I think like it's that sun energy. I keep thinking vitality. So I think, I'm so sorry for the yawn. I don't know why that hit. I'm not even tired. It's so strange. But anyway, the Strength card. So what I see this for you as, especially when it comes to like that vitality, is you have such a strong sense of like, you're a very healthy person. People think about like, you're very energetic. You're someone who's just constantly on the move. Again, being energetic doesn't mean you have to be outgoing. I don't know why I feel like I need to say that, but I do, probably for someone who's listening. It doesn't mean you have to be outgoing. It's more about like, you seem to always be able to be on top of stuff. You're always able to get things done. You're always willing to give somebody, like I said, whether it's a listening ear, or some sort of support, or to a charitable organization, whatever it is. But people see that you're a person of action, and that's something that stands out. Is like they see you as like, that's such a strength of yours. The other strength is the ability to have fun all throughout the process. Again, I want to put you back to the practice of curiosity, that Fox card that you picked out. Your strength is the idea that you practice curiosity throughout every stage of your life. And so it actually encourages people to do the same thing. It's like, you're so curious about life that you really don't even, you don't hide yourself from anything, pile 1. Like, you're very open to stepping into the next phase of everything. And the last one, Queen of Pentacles. I wouldn't be surprised if I have some earth signs here. There's a lot of earth energy here, a lot of pentacle energy. But I do want to point this out. For the Queen of Pentacles, it's like, whatever you're looking to build, this is your goal, and you're working toward it in such a beautiful way. But what's so crazy about all of this is that you're enjoying the process. You're not like just trying to rush to get there. And with that, that's just such a strength, pile 1. Like, and that's what people like, draws people to you, because they're like, I know she's working on something. I know he's working on something. I know they are working on something, right? I want to make sure I honor everybody's pronouns. But whatever it is, it's like they're curious about it and they want to know. And you are so confident in your success. You already know you're going to be a Queen of Pentacles. That's why you're so comfortable as the Page of Pentacles. You notice how she's kind of looking down. She's confident. She's standing on one leg. She's looking down, and she's just as confident here as she is here when she achieved it, looking down at her pinnacle. For you, it's like you're enjoying the journey. You feel like the destination's guaranteed. That confidence is really something that draws people to you, pile 1. So do not lose it. That confidence, that curiosity, that generous heart, That's what attracts people to you. All right, pile one, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this message. I'll talk to you again soon. Hello, pile two. If you selected this fluorite crystal, this is your reading. Or if you selected this card, Cultivate Peace, card number 36. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. I pre-shuffled 3 cards and then I'll get some clarifying cards and we'll turn them over. Ace of Wands, the 8 of Wands, and the King of Swords. You have a very creative, direction that's coming in full throttle, and people see that. Like, you're an unusual thinker. Like, so what I see for what draws people to you, their initial impressions and, what stands out, like, your mind is just like represented here with the fire in the middle. Like, your mind is just so sharp, and even brought home even further with the King of Swords. Like, it's just such, like, you're intelligent, you are decisive, you are intimidating. And what's so interesting is what draws people to you, irony of all ironies, is a bit of that. It's like a little bit of that intimidation. It's the idea that you have this beautifully creative mind, but you're also incredibly decisive and organized. Like, you have this way about you that is incredibly unusual. And that Ace of Wands energy, you move with speed. You're somebody who's like moving like constantly, like just fast, like just filing through things. And it's pretty crazy. Like, people watch that and they're just like, oh my God, like, they just move with such a speed. Now, what's so crazy is you selected Cultivate Peace. That may seem counter to the message, but it actually fits perfectly. You have all of this speed, you have this sharp intelligence, you're incredibly creative. You seem completely at peace, as shown in the Ace of Wands, as reflected in the King of Swords. Both of these cards show people that are kind of pensive, looking off. They look calm. Is he gripping the sword? Is he holding a fist? No. Look at his body language, very relaxed, right? And then if we look at the Ace of Wands, look how content she is. Her face is not flexed in any way. There's no real expression. It's almost like she's in a meditative expression. It's just really incredible, honestly. So I have to say, I'm very impressed by this energy, because it's like you have the beauty of like speed and creative thought, and this like really, like I said, you're very intelligent, you're very decisive too. If you have to make a hard choice, people, they anticipate that you will do that, and people trust it, and they also maybe even fear it sometimes. But it's that peaceful nature that allows somebody to come to you. Even though you have these amazing dynamic and intimidating qualities, as represented in the Cultivate Peace card, this bird is kind of looking off. This bird is just looking, like, just very comfortably sitting there. It's kind of like that. Like, people will comfortably sit next to you and feel fine. Like, they may feel a slight intimidation, but not enough to keep them away. In fact, it draws them to you. They want to know more about you. They want to find out, like, more things about you. And it's pretty incredible how that works, because I think, okay, Page of Swords, that's the next one up. Very good energy here. Okay, so Page of Swords energy, she is at the beginning of, like, she is starting to get more and more decisive about her thought. She's more and more clear about what is happening in her life, what to expect. So this Page of Swords may be like more of a heady, like, thinker, like maybe overthinks a little bit too much, things like that, like, but really starting to learn and flow with ideas versus just be stuck in like concepts or over analyzing. It's like the beginning steps of all of that. This is how you draw people to you, because they feel like they can be the page in your presence. they can learn to calm their overactive imagination, their overactive thoughts, and just kind of sit and hold on to it. It's like being in your presence helps them to feel like they have a bit more mastery over what's going on in their life. Okay. Interesting. King of Cups. So King of Cups is coming out to clarify your Ace of Wands energy. If pile 1 appealed to you, go back and watch it. King of Cups came out over there. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up, and it was a clarifying card. You know, what I see here is that you have this beautiful creative thinking that we talked about. But with your creative thinking and that passion, right? Like when you're so passionate and so excited about something, and sometimes we talked about how you have that decisive nature of the King of Wands, but what was missing here and what shows like why you cultivate peace is because you have that King of Cups element. So you have that element where you're able to just, people feel at ease in your presence. They feel at ease just feeling your emotions. It's almost like your emotions are something people feel. Again, with that cultivate peace card, like the birds are sitting next to each other. It's like people just feel like if they sit next to you, they feel calm, which is so ironic because you have that Ace of Wands energy, that bubbling, passionate beginning, that creativity, that you have velocity next to it, right? With the Eight of Wands, so you have that fire that's like amplified. That's part of you too. But you also have this beautiful balance of the King of Cups energy where people just like, they just feel good in your presence, okay? So that's what draws people to you. The second they sit by you, you're not going to get rid of them. They just love being in your presence. Okay, the World card. There's something about you that feels very worldly, very wise, very mysterious. So you're definitely someone where people feel like they want to know more. So you're very intriguing by nature, okay? So you have this beautiful like vibe where people like to be around you, but it's not the vibe necessarily. It's on why people are around you. It's, you have a quiet allure where people just want to know more. And you have such a freeness. You know, a lot of major arcana coming out right now. We had the World first, now we have the Fool. You have simultaneously this mature King of Swords energy, this energy where you have, like I said, you're very smart. People can't pull the wool over your eyes. You're very decisive, so you don't have a problem making hard decisions. You will make them. And what's so crazy about this is that Fool energy is that new beginning. Because you're so solid in who you are, what really draws people to you is your willingness to just take chances and start something new. It's so rare to have someone who is doing so well. I mean, you have two kings, King of Cups, King of Swords. So it's like you're doing really well in life. And it's like they feel like the page next to you, and then they're watching, they're like, oh my God, you're willing to start the Fool's journey all over again? You're willing to just start something new? It's like, it's so incredible to them. But as they see you start it, you start with such peace, that cultivate peace card coming out again, right? It's like you start with like, look at her, look how peaceful she is as she's about to walk off a cliff, literally. Like you truly embody this Fool energy. So, okay, let's get one more card. I'm just going to find out if there's anything else that they're feeling in your presence. You know, you may get a little jealousy, pile 2. The last card that came out was the Eight of Swords. I'm going to talk about this card. So she's bound, and she's surrounded by swords, but not really, right? She could walk forward. She could even walk backwards. She wouldn't be affected. Okay. One thing that people also feel in your presence is incredibly limited. Not by anything you're doing, not by anything you're saying, but by their own perception of themselves. The Eight of Swords card shows that she's bound, but if you look at it, the bindings don't really look that tight. Her skin isn't being cramped at all. She can walk forward and just completely probably walk out of these bindings, quote unquote, and hence take the blindfold off, but instead she's standing there thinking that she's in defeat. I'm bringing this up because people see all of your gifts, and the fact that you're able to be so peaceful, it's almost like that's not fair. That's what I'm hearing. That's not fair. They have so many gifts and they're at peace, almost like they would have rathered you not know who you are, not know what you have, and instead, be kind of like struggling the way they see themselves struggling. This is not on you. You've done nothing wrong. I think it's just important to note that, like, you may have people around you, so you may have people being drawn to you, but you could also have people who kind of pick fights or get jealous or resentful around you, and you wonder if it's something you're doing wrong or if it's something that you should do differently or something that you need to change. You don't need to change anything, pile 2. This is their thing. This is their issue. It has nothing to do with you. You're an incredible person. You have so many beautiful qualities. You exude peace just by sitting there. They feel better about themselves. So if they sit there and then they decide that they're mad at you because of your gifts, then that's their problem, because you cultivate peace. They're the ones who are cultivating something different. So if that resonates with you at all, just know you don't need to change anything or do anything. Unfortunately, it's an fortunately. Unfortunately, this is how you do have a lot of beautiful gifts, and this is how at times insecure people will perceive you. So that's unfortunately, but fortunately, you have all these incredible gifts. It helps you, it helps other people. The fact that you're decisive like a King of Swords, and you have that emotional stability of the King of Cups, and yet you have that fire of the Ace of Wands, all playing beautifully together. You're willing to be the Fool card. You're willing to start over again. You're willing to listen to other people's perspectives, to be open to the next phase in your life. You are fearless in a lot of ways, and you do all of that with being, on one hand, very passionate and moving very dynamically and moving quickly when you need to with the Ace of Wands energy. But you often cultivate peace. You often have this beautiful consistency about you. The fact is, your qualities are amazing, and the world does see it. You will have, like, a lot of people in the world appreciate it. But every once in a while you get this Eight of Swords energy where they just don't get it. They're so in their own head about it. They've bound themselves up and put themselves in a situation where they perceive they can't have what they want. That's their perception. You're looking at their perception. That's not reality. And that's nothing you can fix. That's all on them. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this message, pile 1 or pile 2. I did. If you did, please hit like, share it if you feel called to, subscribe, or shoot me a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say about this message, if any of these messages resonate. Okay, talk to you again soon, pile 2. Hello, pile 3. If you selected Get Lost, card 33, this is your message. Otherwise, if you selected the Amethyst Pyramid, this is your message. Okay, so I already pre-shuffled 3 cards. We'll see what these are. Okay. We have the Strength card, 5 of Cups, and Justice. This 5 of Cups was in reverse, and I will read it that way today for you. Okay, so the question is, what draws people to you, pile 3? You are someone that is, you definitely stand out in that you're very, it's like you're always kind of ahead of everyone else. So as shown in this Get Lost card, we see this bird is like ahead of these 2 birds, and they're kind of like looking up at him. And slightly different too. So these birds have like brown wings, and then this bird has more brown on the tail, but the wings are white. It doesn't really necessarily mean you have to physically look a lot different than other people, but it's more like, it's this recognition. Sorry for shaking the camera. It's this recognition that you are someone that beats to your own drum, and you're someone who has the strength to do so. It comes out as a Strength card, and this version of Strength card, this woman has half of her face like a lion. And it's like you have part of you that that isn't what people expect. It's not at all. And it's very intriguing to people. So why people are drawn to you is the idea of like, I need to figure out what they're doing, what they're about. Like, it's this vibe where people just want to know, like, what is pile 3 about? Like, it's not even necessarily what you're working on or anything like that. It's not about what you have. It's about you. It's like this it factor, this energy about you that people are just trying to figure out. Because it seems like you seem very different than other people. And the fact of it could be the way you think, it could be how you present yourself. It could be, like I said, just a general vibe, just the way you walk in a room. But people are drawn to you because it's hard for them to make an initial impression of you without coming up to you and finding out more. It's hard for them to make a definitive call. So this is brought home more with the 5 of Cups energy in reverse. So this card is like kind of, looking at what's lost, kind of like this pensive energy. People are afraid of losing out, and if they're not around you, if they don't know what's going on, they're afraid of missing out. You bring out FOMO. That's why people are drawn to you. There's just something incredibly interesting about you that people are drawn to. Hold on one moment. Sorry about that. So, yes, back to the FOMO. So people, they have a sense of FOMO. Like, I need to know what they're working on. I need to know this. I need to know that. The Justice card comes out. You are a very balanced, I would say just person, but like the way you see the world is very balanced. So what draws people to you is they feel like they'd get really good advice. So it's not even like when they start getting to know you, like, oh, let's ask, like, because again, you have a different perspective as brought out by the Strength card. So once they start to get to know you more, so this comes in a little bit after the initial impression, they're like, oh, they're going to give me, like, I kind of want to hear both perspectives. Like, I want to see or I kind of want to know what, pile 3 thinks, because they think very differently than everyone else. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Okay. Yeah. They feel like you can carry a very, what draws people to you is like, they can do a lot. They can do a lot. Like, you seem like you're always ahead, as brought out in the Get Lost card. So like, from their perspective, it's like you're always like 10 feet, 20 feet, 1,000 feet ahead of them. And so for them, they're just like, God, like, I feel like they do so much. So in their perspective, you're the 10 of Wands energy. You're doing so much. And it's just like, how do we keep up? So it draws people to you because they want to know what makes, like, how are you able to do this? Like, what makes you tick? Again, it's like they're just trying to figure it out. It's like, how are you always ahead of you're ahead of these 2 birds, right? In this picture, Get Lost. Like, how are you always ahead? And that's kind of the thing. Ace of Cups, you're incredibly loving. So clarity on the Strength card, you have this very loving vibe to you too. So when you think about that side of you, you have like a mysterious side, but also incredibly loving side. So then that's where the confusion comes in, because they're like, she's mysterious, but or he's mysterious, but like, they're so generous and like kind, and they're just like, I don't know what to make of them. Like, that's kind of thing. That's the thing that draws people to you. It's like they're trying to figure you out, and they're trying to figure out, how do you do it? Like, what is your secret? The Fool card. Fool card came out in pile 2, so I put it back in the deck, and that's been kind of how I've been doing it recently, if I feel like, just to make sure. And it came out twice, and we know this is for you. So the Fool card underneath the 5 of Cups energy, it's that FOMO energy. People want to start new beginnings with you. That's the clarification on this card. They don't want, again, when we talk about FOMO, they don't want to miss out on an opportunity, because they feel like you're the one who's in the know. They feel like if there's like going to be something cool happening, like it could be a party, it could be like, meeting new people, it could be going on a trip, it could be anything. They want to be a part of it too. They're totally the full energy. They want that new beginning with you. new business opportunities, new investment opportunities, even that. Like they always want to know what you're up to because they feel like you're always like on the cutting edge. You're always ahead of people. So they want to know what you're working on. This is why people are, this is what draws people to you. This is why they're drawn to you. The other thing that people see about you is your patience. So they admire this about you and they try to learn from you, right? You're incredibly patient. So I use the example of, you don't seem like you're like rushing or reckless with how you're doing things. It seems like you're just kind of quietly getting it done. And that even brings it home even more. They're like, how does pile 3 do it? How are they always like making progress? They seem to always be ahead, yet I see them like they're always kind of about getting ready for a harvest. Like, how are they doing this? Again, with the Fool energy, you just come off as such a leader. Pile 3, you guys are my leaders. You just are. And everything that you do, people want to follow you. And that's really like what draws people to you. You have that leader energy. You have that presence. And what's so interesting is this spread, because when you think of a leader like emperor, empress, like, you know, kings, queens, none of that's here. But what brings it home so hard is just the fact that it's like, it's so clear with the Justice card, with the Strength card, and with all the qualities around it, the Fool card. You know, that 7 of Pentacles is like, to me, so important to the messaging, because it's like really bringing home, you are someone who, you're a human being, and they know you are. Like, they're like, oh, she's waiting. Oh, she has challenges. She has to do things. And it inspires people, but again, they really want to follow you so bad. They want to follow you. Remember how I said they see you as having this burden, this 10 of Wands? That's their perception of you. The Temperance is the reality of what you're doing. You have learned mastery over balance. You've learned to really lead in a very healthy, productive way. So this Temperance energy, what I want to point out here for you is that this Temperance energy is like, she's balancing 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. And it's like, that is exactly what you're doing. You've learned to balance both sides of the equation here. Okay. So you're very like, you just make quiet adjustments. That's how you're always moving ahead, and you're patient. And again, we talked about balance with the Justice card, right? You have such a lovely sense of balance and of justice. So you understand, like, okay, I'm not gonna get everything I want right now, but, you know, I'll get it. I'm just gonna work toward it. This is what draws people to you. So I'm going to ask another question. You're getting a little bit extra because I ran through yours. I mean, it just wasn't as many cards, but I don't want to make your reading too short. So I'm going to ask, what stands out about you as far as like what keeps people coming back? So we know initially what draws people to you, but you guys are going to get a bonus message here. Why do people keep coming back? Like what makes them come back? Oh yeah. You know, you're quietly manifesting constantly. You have that 9 of Cups energy. You're constantly bringing forth your desires. So yes, you're loving and you're very mysterious and you're interesting, but you're very abundant. Like, so people look at you and they're just like, God, you know, pile 3 they're always kind of on to the next. So it's like, while this is growing, you're already building a new crop kind of a thing. Like, you're always working on something else. So you could be building on an idea that's already, you know, working toward it, and you're waiting to see the fruits of your labor. And while you're doing that, you're already kind of toying around with a new idea. It's like, it's not restless energy. It's more like, you don't like being bored energy, if that makes sense. You are my leader, Pile, so you like to have challenges always going. And I think you like the beginning of it. I think you really enjoy the Fool card. That energy is like, you love starting something. But what's different about you is, instead of just starting it and going nowhere with it, you start it, but you're patient about the start. the Moon card is clarifying the Fool card. Makes a lot of sense because you are very mysterious. You're somebody where people can't 100% figure out how you tick. And so when we think about why they keep coming back, part of it is like how I started this message is exactly why they keep coming back. They're just like, no matter how long they're around you, you do something or say something or just you throw people for the loop constantly and they love it. It can maybe be frustrating for people who just want to copy you and just want to take advantage of your knowledge. Yeah, that's going to be frustrating because they can never hit your level, frankly. Too bad, so sad. But for you, this is just who you are. You're constantly evolving. So that's another reason when I said people don't want to like miss out. It's a little bit of like, energy of it's like they want to try to figure out your secret sauce, but at the same time, they just love being around you too. But in their perspective, you are overburdened. And you don't even feel that, which is so crazy. Like you feel like the Temperance card. You feel like everything's in balance. It's very rare where you feel like you're overburdened. You live in a balanced energy. You live between the Justice card, the Temperance card, where things are just flowing and in motion exactly where they should be. And that's the vibe that you put off. I'm so sorry. I keep yawning. I don't know why. I'm not even tired. It's so strange. But anyway, okay. So I don't know. Maybe somebody's tired and that's listening or listening to this late, but no, I have no idea. It's so odd. Okay, let's get more clarifications here. So we know you're patient. We know you have a beautiful sense of justice and balance. Next card up. Okay. So this is the first card, and this is significant. All of these cards is one person. Just one person, which tells me a lot, right? One person in every card, no people in this card, but not a lot of it's very decisive. Now, if we look at this card that started it all off, the card you selected, Get Lost, had one bird in front and two birds in back. Remember how we've been talking about how you always seem like you're ahead and people feel like they're trying to catch up and they don't want to miss out. They don't want to lose out, right? They know you're onto something. That's what the vibe is here. And what's so great is what I see here for the next card here, the Seven of Pentacles, is like you are patiently waiting. You are a very just person, and you have the Three of Cups. While you're waiting, you enjoy the wait. You're not somebody who's just like, oh my God, when is it going to happen? Oh, I just wish it's going to happen. Maybe you have moments like that, but it's actually very rare. You're the type of person where it's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy this moment. I'm going to do this. Like, you're really good about being present. You're really good about enjoying this moment. I don't know if pile 2 appeals to you at all, but if it does, go ahead and hit back that message. I only say that because the Fool card came out in pile 2. And there's an element here of pile 2 that I'm seeing, which is like that patient energy. And that you have the patient energy, but you also have this like, I don't know, it's like you're always you have your thumb on the pulse, like you know what's happening next. But I feel like for you, you're very in tune with like a gut feeling, or you could be, have psychic gifts, or you could just be really in flow in life. Like it just naturally kind of comes together. You seem to manifest really easily, as represented by the Nine of Cups. Whatever it is for you, you're somebody that you just seem to things just seem to work out for you pretty consistently. And so, yeah, like it's really incredible actually. So this Three of Cups energy, why people keep coming back is you are a lot of fun to be around. Even though you're doing all of these things, you're really a lot of fun to be around. Even though you're mysterious, you're always doing something new. It's like you're really interesting. You're really fun. Like people look forward to spending time with you, with celebrating with you, with just spending time with you. Of course. Now, last card representing you. The Death card in reverse. Now remember, their perception of you is that you're overburdened. Your perception of yourself is the Temperance card, that you're balanced, and you are. The Death card represents in reverse that you're constantly doing a lot of personal transformations. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some Scorpios listening. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys have been going on a spiritual awakening or some sort of personal journey. You could have done some sort of glow up recently, but it's like this just kind of brings home you're constantly evolving. And so this 33 card get lost is like you're constantly letting your previous self get lost and evolving into somebody new. That's what you're doing. You're constantly like literally letting go of the past and re-evolving into something else. And people just love to see it. They love to be around it. They love to be a part of it. It's that energy, right? So for you, that their FOMO is how many times they've watched you evolve and they don't want to miss out. They want to be there too. They want to learn from you. How do you do it? And that's like such a huge part of like why people keep coming back. You're very fascinating, Pile 3. You should definitely pat yourselves on the back. You're just a very interesting group of people with how you're going through the world and what you I'd say how you approach your goals, but also what you just focus on in your life. What's a priority in your life? It's very different than other people. And with that, I see that you see a lot of success, and that's an awesome thing. So yeah, like you're fantastic. I love this energy. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this message, Pile 3. I certainly did. If you did, please hit like, share, subscribe. Shoot me a comment if you feel called. And yeah, I will post another video soon. But thank you so much for your time. Take care.